This is Lewis Hart for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store and William Hill. Delighted today to be joined finally with Dev Sahni. Seems like, mate, I feel like there's a bit of beef brewing. You know, we didn't interview yesterday. Today I was like getting ready to go to you, and then all of a sudden Umar's came along. I'm second best now.
Umar sort of swooped in and grabbed me, and you can't be turning down Umar IFL Umar. So yeah, sorry about that, but glad we are chatting now, my friend.
Yeah, I'm absolutely glad as well, and I'm glad that we are at a fight week for such a great fight. Dennis McCann takes on Ionut Baluta in a big test for Dennis McCann, an acid test in a way, and it's one that we're really buzzing to watch. Another great fight in the super bantamweight division.
Yeah, and well done pronouncing Ionut correctly, because I got I used to call him Ionut. On the iPhone, Ionut just autocorrects to donut, by the way, so be careful with that. But yeah, look, it's a hell of a fight. It's a hell of a night, and for Dennis McCann, as you said, acid test. It's one of those fights where when I saw it get made, I was like, we sure? Is that going to suddenly disappear from a bill sheet? But it hasn't. It's a fight that has been made, and it's a fight that Dennis McCann has asked for. He has asked for this test. He has asked for the toughest test of his career, and it's not just like it's a Baluta that's coming off a loss or coming off a couple of losses who looks like he's on the slide. No, he's on the way up. I know he's like 29 years old. Like Dennis McCann was calling him a granddad. He ain't no granddad. He's just beaten Andrew Kane, who was still is a hell of a prospect coming through at Queensbury. So he's coming here in form. But Dennis McCann believes he can get the job done. And if he's the fighter that he says he is, that everyone believes he is, then he will get the job done. But big task.
I just wanted to go back to the first thing you said about Ionut.
Yeah.
I learned that off of a bollocking from Anis Taj, so that's how I learned it. But as you said there, it's another real acid test, and someone like Baluta, he's coming off some really good wins, and he's sort of this guy who Queensbury pick up. You know, when you got super bantamweight and you're British, Baluta's going to be sniffing around. He's going to want to take what you've got. So that's such a dangerous task, and all the focus is on Dennis McCann, but we must not forget that Baluta is, he's got ambitions of his own, and
100%. He's got his own ambitions. He wants to become a world champion. Look, he probably can become a world champion, by the way. He's a very good fighter, and he's very difficult to beat. You have to have you have to really be switched on in order to beat him. And even the fighters that have beat him, like Mick Conlan, for example, he's still sort of running them close. Liam Davis has probably done the most sort of comprehensive job on him, and that's a testament to where Liam Davis is. He is fantastic, and he looks like he's going to go all the way as well. And what a potential future fight that could be between Liam Davis and Dennis McCann. Do you know what? My mouth's watering. Yeah. Just even talking about
right. Yeah, it's fine.
Talking about that. Goodness me. But yeah, no, look, it's a big fight, and this super bantamweight division is just on fire right now. So great time.
Absolutely, 100%. I'll let you have a drink. Yes, we didn't catch up yesterday, which I've reminded you a couple of times of. But but also we have coming up not just on Friday, but sort of moving on to next week. We've got Hamzah Sheeraz and Dennis McCann's not out next week, and we've got Hamzah Sheeraz and Daniel Dubois out. Both sort of different scales of massive fights. Dubois in another big fight, and seeing him train yesterday, the guy's cut. He looks big. He looks ready.
He does look ready, doesn't he? And as you said, he's cut. There's abs knocking about there as well, and he's been training at altitude. He looks like he's settling in perfectly with Don Charles. Don Charles has yanked him all the way up to the Spanish mountains, shown him something he's never seen before, and it looks like maybe we're going to see a Daniel Dubois that we've never seen before. And you mentioned Hamzah Sheeraz there. They're both in the toughest fight of their life. Hamzah Sheeraz is right up against it. The guy that he's fighting, Dmitro Mitrofanov, easy for you to say, he's a former Olympian. He's a European bronze medalist. He's unbeaten. He is backed by K2. He is managed by Egis Klimas. Hamzah's got it all to do. He's going there to do it. So look, it's a tall task for both guys. Let's see how they get on.
And especially with someone like Hamzah, where I spoke to him there, and where middleweight is in such a disarray at the world level, it must be so exciting where you're looking at that. He's only sort of, 24, 25, so he's 24 and he's got so much promise where he could be swiftly shifted into a world title picture. But there's obviously a man that could be waiting there, and there's a man that's going to be chasing him. That is Denzel Bentley. So there's always big fights there for Hamzah Sheeraz.
Yeah, look, I don't know if Denzel's chasing Hamzah or Hamzah's chasing Denzel, or whichever way around it is. I think that if and when they do meet, and I believe they will meet, I think that will be a tremendous fight for British boxing. I feel like hopefully Frank can work some magic to get something extra on the line. I think the guys would like that as well, and it's a tremendous fight. You've got Hamzah Sheeraz now, who's just turned into a fully fledged, hard-hitting, knockout artist of a middleweight. He is laying people to waste right now at this weight division, and Denzel Bentley has shown at the very top level he is very capable of handling guys. You saw against Janibek, right? If he had a bit more self-belief, if he'd have started a bit quicker, it's kind of half reminded me of Craig Richards against Bivol. There's echoes of that perhaps he didn't have the experience and the belief heading into the fight, but acquitted himself very well and showed that he belonged at that level. So a fight between them would be tremendous one day. But Hamzah's got it all to do to come through this fella on next Saturday.
As you said, all to do, similar to Dubois, who, he's got a really, really tough task on his hands. So for a strategy with Dubois, is it sort of, for sort of a 5-6 round, let's just have it and see where it can go? Is it?
Look, the way I've described this in the past is I believe he will fight Usyk the way everybody wanted Anthony Joshua to fight Usyk. And look, it's easier said than done, right? Every idiot sat on the sofa can be like, stick it on him. But stick it on him is essentially what he's got to do there. And I feel like that's what they're planning for. It feels like his best chance is to get it done early. Stick it right on him from the start, and you've probably got 6 rounds or so to impose yourself. If Usyk gets into a bit of a rhythm, if we start seeing round 6, 7, 8, that's probably not great news for Daniel Dubois. That probably means Usyk's doing well, and maybe Daniel's getting confused by what's going on in there. But we believe that Daniel Dubois will land something on Usyk. And Usyk has, he's never been hit by anyone like Daniel Dubois is going to hit him. That, for me, that's fact.
And even for Daniel, he's 25, so I know that he's not going to be thinking about it. But win or lose, he will come out sort of benefiting from fighting Usyk, where he's fighting at that world level again, where he's going to learn from operators, just like how he learnt when he lost to Joe Joyce.
That's it. Look, I've seen people say that there's no way that he's ready for this fight. He hasn't had the experience. He's had experience. He has boxed at a very high level against Joe Joyce. He was winning that fight, and he came up short. But that's the sort of experience that you need. That's the sort of experience that you learn from. People have compared it to Anthony Yarde, perhaps going in against Kovalev. I don't think Anthony Yarde had faced any adversity. Daniel Dubois has faced plenty of adversity so far heading into this. He's grown from it. He's learnt from it. And at 25 years old, he's got youth on his side. He's got power on his side. And he's got me on his side. So
that's it. Whoever he's got Big Dev, so that's all that matters. Absolutely. But we'll stick on to topics of the heavyweight division. We see you, as always, getting active on Twitter, and we did see you actually having a little bit of a pop at the Boxing Social account today. Well, not at the Boxing Social account, but Eddie Hearn went on Gareth A. Davies' Fight Club yesterday, and was talking about Tyson Fury pricing himself out, mentioned the splits, this and that, and you just sort of proved him wrong. So I suppose we're here to sort of on a digital version of what you thought was wrong that Eddie Hearn said.
It's not even me having a pop. Like Eddie's great at what he does. I've never met him, but it's not me having a go at his opinion or anything like that. Say what you want. But if I see something that is actually just incorrect, and then it just goes unchallenged, and I know it's not true, then I'll correct it. He said that what actually happened was Usyk asked for a 70-30 reverse split in the rematch in the UK, if the rematch was to happen, had he won the first fight. And Eddie said something like he asked 50-50 in the rematch in the UK, had he won the first fight. So it's just not true.
Well, we'll stick on the topic of we weren't even talking about Anthony Joshua, but we'll stick on the topic of Anthony Joshua fighting this weekend. I mean, did you get a chance to watch it? And an emphatic knockout, but I think that we can all agree it was a slow 7 rounds getting up to that point.
Yeah, look, again, they would have gone into that fight wanting a highlight reel knockout. They would have gone into it wanting momentum, a win, obviously, and sending out a bit of a statement that he's ready for Deontay Wilder, who should be next if you follow the story. But yeah. Look, he's got the knockout, so he's got momentum. Let's see where it goes. I guess the critics will say that he took a while to work out Robert Helenius, and Deontay Wilder worked him out immediately and knocked him out in the first round. That's the drawback of fighting someone like Robert Helenius. He's been done before. He's been done quicker. Wilder and Ionut Baluta knocked him out quicker than AJ did. But he's now won his last 2 fights in a row. So that thing about he's only won X amounts in the last few fights, that disappears now. So he's won 2 on the bounce, and hopefully we see him go into a Deontay Wilder fight.
And one thing I wanted to say, I don't know if you watched it, but Frank Warren actually had a really good podcast with Simon Jordan, and he mentioned about Anthony Joshua, and he said that Anthony Joshua isn't a legacy fight for Tyson Fury, and Tyson Fury doesn't need Anthony Joshua for his legacy. And he also, I spoke to him yesterday, and he was like, Anthony Joshua's not had a legacy performance in his 4 or 5 fights. I know you don't speak for Frank, but would you agree with those comments?
You're trying to get me in trouble here, aren't you? I don't know, but the thing that I would always point to is I feel as though if they both, Tyson and Anthony, if they both retired today, I think Tyson would be remembered as the better fighter. This is a guy who went to Germany to dethrone Vladimir Klitschko, ending his reign. He went to the States, dethroned Deontay Wilder as well. And that same Deontay Wilder is now being seen as a huge fight for Anthony Joshua. If he beats him, it shows X, Y, Z. Tyson's done it 3 times. I know it's 2, but secretly it's 3 times, right? So I just feel like if they retired today, Tyson would go down as the better heavyweight. Anthony Joshua would still go down as a tremendous heavyweight. Like he's done brilliantly, and he's done brilliantly for British boxing. It was sad to see him get booed in the 3rd round. Like that happened. I thought that was. Because we should look at him and be like, look, we know what we're dealing with now. Give him a minute, right? Give him a little bit longer to figure it out. So that was sad to see. But ultimately, I think if they both retired today, Tyson would go down as the better fighter with the better legacy.
100%. Dev, it's always a pleasure catching up with you. It feels finally good to catch up with you once again, mate. And I don't want to be seeing you running off once any time. This is a warning to you, mate.
So I heed the warning, and this is also your warning. 7:30 TNT Sports Friday night. Tune in. Apparently, a very very handsome ring announcer as well. So, from what I've heard,
I'm actually not. Umar did actually make a remark to that, and Thomas Triber ain't there. Dev Sahni's there, so that's what we're on about, mate. Thank you, mate. Cheers. Thank you.